Wednesday, May 8th. Oh, happy Humo Day. It is great to have you back here. For those who observe, it's the Damon Bruce Show, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. It's awesome to have you back here. Got a quick one for you today. I'm not even going to lie. I just did a wake up with Larry, and look, we had about 15 actual minutes of 49er content in there because there just isn't an awful lot going on right now around them. Congratulations to the Giants, who actually landed competently in Colorado after getting embarrassed in Philadelphia. We'll get to that. We'll talk even, oh my gosh, a little Sharks hockey before this show is all said and done, but I'm never going to waste your time. And that includes today. So let me just quickly tell you that the only thing that even could be contrived as news is that Ian Rappaport is saying that the 49ers are all done trying to, trade Brandon Aiyuk, and figuring out the right contract is where all of their efforts lie right now. Possibly a 3-year extension worth up to $75 million. That's what Devontae Smith signed for last month. And, got Ian Rappaport of NFL Network saying that that's the neighborhood the 49ers want to shop in. We all know that Brandon Aiyuk wants to live in even a ritzier neighborhood than that. So we'll see what compromise gets put to bed, but I want this to bed. I want it done now. I don't want anything focused on the future or talking about who may or may not be here in 2025, because 2024 is coming like a steam train. I mean, it is just, we are going to be playing football before you know it. And thank God. Thank God, because that feeds the beast more than anything. And when it comes to 2024, we're all now waiting for the schedule. And the schedule isn't going to be out until next week. There was an awful lot of rumor that tomorrow, Tuesday the 9th, or Thursday the 9th, is the day that the schedule was going to come out. It's going to be about a week after that. So we're now looking at the 15th as the NFL's schedule release day. And the only thing that we know for sure is that no matter how it comes out, no matter how it's doled out to the 49ers, the schedule is just going to be brutal. I mean, really brutal. The 49ers are going to be up against it just about everywhere. I saw Niners Nation say that the release of the 2024 NFL schedule is anticipated soon. However, it's already known that the Bears, the Vikings, the Jaguars are going to be hosting international games in London. The Vikings are the only 49ers have the schedule to face on the road. So there is a chance that the 49ers are going to be not only looking at a brutal schedule, but that game against Minnesota might be bounced across the pond over to the stadium that Tottenham Hotspur plays in, which is an incredible looking stadium, by the way. It's really beautiful. That would make, the travel even harder. It would turn that game into a home game, though, for the 49ers. So there is an advantage to that. I don't know if the Niners are going to price out Vikings fans in their own stadium, but in an international trip over in London, yeah, that could absolutely happen. So there's something to keep an eye on. And we do know that the NFL isn't sitting around and choosing, like, who are the Vikings going to be playing over in England? They couldn't come up with a better matchup in terms of drawing in international eyeballs and attention than the 49ers. You send them to London, it's going to be a big deal. So there is a chance that that happens. The rest of the schedule, no matter how it happens, it's going to be brutal. Again, health is paramount to even sniff 10 to 12 wins in what's going to be a savage schedule. They will be playing 8 teams that reach the playoffs. 8 playoff teams from last year are on the 49ers schedule. 6 division winners from last year are on the 49ers schedule. The team that the 49ers beat in the NFC title game is on the schedule. The team that then beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl is on the schedule. The Chicago Bears, again, just had the number 1 overall pick, so it feels like they're an easy to push around football team. Not really. They really weren't at the end of last year, and they're expecting to come in a little bit better than before. And again, there's a chance out there that they would go overseas. As winners of the NFC West, the 49ers are scheduled to play the winners of the NFC East, the champions of the NFC South, and of the AFC West. And that's how you get the Cowboys, Buccaneers, and Chiefs on your schedule. And then you're going to play, obviously, everyone in your own division twice. You play the AFC East and the NFC North. It's rough. Your home games, everyone in the West. Plus the Bears, the Lions, the Jets, the Patriots, the Chiefs, and the Dallas Cowboys. Your away games, everyone in the NFC West, along with the Packers, the Vikings, the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Buccaneers. Again, there is a chance that that Vikings game could be in London. So no matter how you slice it, and no matter how you start stacking teams on top of each other, the schedule is going to be rough. Then you add in the moving parts, and this is something that Larry and I were talking about on Wake Up, of just the weather that could be waiting for you in these stadiums. You know, you're going to go play Miami in the middle of the year. Well, it's going to be a lot easier to survive a hot, humid, muggy day in Miami than, you know, early on in September, where it could just be like, you know, crotch pot cooking soup and you're just sweating the minute you walk outside. You don't want to be going to Green Bay at the end of December. You really don't. You'd rather that be a game that comes earlier on in your schedule. So all the moving parts of weather possibilities get factored into all of this. And no matter how you look at it, again, all you got to do is look at it. And the schedule's in fully like, holy shit, that's going to be tough. There's no doubt that that's going to be tough. What shouldn't be tough for any of you is your lunchtime decision. Your lunchtime decision today should be a simple one. Go to Ike's and order a Damon Bruce. I'm freaking delicious. Sliced thin, nice ribeye. Then you go ahead, you get a little provolone cheese, you get some onion rings on top of that, little steak sauce. You want to go lettuce, tomato, you certainly can. I like a little lettuce. I keep the tomato off my sandwich. I don't want my sandwich to become wet. Again, the whole point is you got your onion rings on there, so you got a little steakhouse crunch to it. And I always like to add red onions and Godfather sauce to every single sandwich that I get on Ike's, and I always get them on French bread because Dutch Crunch tears up the top of my mouth like it's Lucky Charms, or not Lucky Charms. That's not the great. Captain Crunch is the great roof of your mouth offender, at least in my mouth. Get to Ike's, sign up for the rewards program. A new rewards program is going to be offered soon at Ike's. And of course, they will be opening a restaurant close to the ballpark soon in downtown San Francisco. And when all that happens, we will be there for all the ribbon cutting, pomp and circumstance. And we hope you come on out for that, certainly. We have a new Pluce Mania officially in the works, something that I'm working on with Damon Amendola, and we're going to do that over in the East Bay. But next time you're thinking about grabbing a drink in San Francisco, going no further than to the end of West Portal and going to the Dubliner West Portal. Fantastic drinks are waiting for you. Great crowd. And what am I, in an Irish bar, a neighborhood bar? It's a sports bar. What do you know? It's all three. If you're waiting to go to dinner in that neighborhood, it's the perfect place to go grab a beer. If you're just looking to go grab a beer, it is an awesome spot to just go grab a beer, pull up a stool, and enjoy some good company, good conversation. The Dubliner in West Portal. They took one look at us over here on the Pluce and said, we want to hang out with those people, which is really a testament to how awesome everyone here is. And we will be, on this wonderful Humo Day, having ourselves a Club Pluce. As a matter of fact, we'll be throwing open the doors soon to see what everyone's talking about and wants to get into today. Again, it's Humo Day. Happy Humo Day for those who observe. It is great to have you here. Red Jet checking in. She's already done attendance. She said the gang is all here. Good. That means we're ready to go. And oh my gosh, I see some generosity that we have to go ahead and address right here, right now, because the man, the myth, the legend is back to his old tricks. Rob C-Note put $100 on Mystic Dan because of DB. It paid 18-1. Any more tips? Look at that. Look at that. Thank you very much, Rob C. I appreciate it. 18-1, $100. That's a decent payday. Thank you very much for my cut. I got no other tips for you. I'm not even going to pretend, Rob C., that I did any real racing level handicapping on that. I had a buddy of mine named Dan who was telling me he liked Mystic Dan. I wrote him back. I said, of course you do. The horse's name is Dan, just like you, Dan. And he's like, well, that's what I got for you. And I, of course, went forward with it on the internet and put my entire reputation behind it. Nailed it. Anyways, Rob C., I'm glad that paid off and I didn't give you bad advice. We're looking to give good advice, not bad advice over here. That's kind of the goal. We will get back into the chat when we have ourselves a little Club Pluce. That's coming up. I think it's going to be our first official time this week. Someone was asking just yesterday, like, hey, what happened to Club Pluce, man? What happened to Club Pluce? How come we're not getting disco lights at the end of every show? Well, again, people started taking it for granted. Sometimes you got to take it away, make people appreciate it again. Again, I got a 4-year-old. This is my theory. Sometimes you got to take that toy away for it to really be appreciated again. But we will get in there for sure. Again, what else have we got today as it is directly connecting with Bay Area sports? Well, when it comes to basketball, there is no direct connection now because the Warriors obviously didn't make it to the NBA playoffs. That's a shame. How they get out of the situation that they're in to reveal themselves as a true contender again. Man, I don't know if that's going to be out there. Youth is being served in this NBA postseason. Do you see the Oklahoma City Thunder last night? Do you realize that they haven't given up 100 points yet? In the postseason, they've yet to give up 100 points. They are just playing hard. Oh, they are good. You look at what the Minnesota Timberwolves did. They just went out and they played defense like they were trying to get laid at prom. I mean, they were all over the Denver Nuggets. And the Nuggets basically couldn't do a thing with that level of youthful intensity just getting thrown at them for a full 48. So youth is being served in the NBA now, I mean, in dramatic ways. So it just feels like the Warriors are on the wrong side of what feels to be the winning equation in this league at this point in time in their competitive life cycle. There's nothing really wrong with that, by the way. There's no such thing as the great team that never got old and stayed great forever. The Warriors got a serious problem with hubris if they really believed that they could do that. And historically, when NBA dynasties end, there is a massive, cease and desist on competition for a while. Just remaining competitive in their post-championship window is a pretty tough thing to accomplish. So we'll see if the Warriors can start there. Again, Marcus Thompson wrote a piece about, what do the Warriors have to get out of the situation that they're in? And the answer is not very much. They're in a better situation than the Lakers and maybe even the Suns, as this was being measured like, who's got a real chance to win anymore, Steph, LeBron, or KD? The answer is still Steph. But it ain't going to be easy. Not even close to easy to just, re-jump that. Just get another, pop another car's hood open and jump that battery. Should be easy. It ain't going to be easy. Again, the sip of the day gets off the board when we do a wake up. Now we got guys trying to handicap how long the show's running time will be. We got Nathaniel looking at the show time, took the under. I don't even know what the show time was. I don't know what the line was set at. I don't want to know. Again, I can't be in on this information and have this information be fair on the betting board. So, I'd be like the Super Bowl anthem singer that knew exactly how long it took for them to sing the national anthem, and I made a big wager on it. Yeah, you can't trust that person. But what else have we got? We got, like I said, the playoffs are looking further away as you try to look over the Warriors to see the rest of the NBA because youth is getting served out there. And we'll see if Jalen Brunson doesn't have another 40-point performance in him tonight for the Knicks, who have the stage all to themselves. Knicks and Pacers are the only NBA playoff game this evening. I suggest you watch it because when Madison Square Garden is into a basketball game, you can feel the electricity come right over your TV. You really can. So we'll see if the Knicks got a little something against the Pacers tonight. Reggie Miller will be in the building. So Reggie Miller in the building, Pacers on the court. We all know that, Spike is getting ready for that one. When is the last time we said anything about the San Jose Sharks on this show? It's been a very long time since we've said anything about the San Jose Sharks on this show. Do I have the Donskoy button still on here? I can't. Do I still have Donskoy? Oh,
Donskoy!
Sure do.
Donskoy!
It's the last time the Sharks got a lot of run.
Donskoy!
It's the last time the Sharks were good.
Donskoy!
I will forever miss Jonas Donskoy. Oh, that was my guy. But there could be a new guy in town related to another guy in town. I bring up the Sharks because they've actually just picked up their biggest win in the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, it feels like. They won the NHL draft lottery and have the right to the number 1 overall pick. Macklin Celebrini, who is a star player at Boston University, is expected to be the number 1 overall pick, to the point where Greer, the GM, has already said, yeah, that's pretty much going to be where we're going. Not a lot of coy operation about this young man who won the Hobey Baker Award, which is college hockey's equivalent of the Heisman Trophy. Macklin Celebrini is a Vancouver native, but he spent an awful lot of time in the Bay Area because he's the son of Rick Celebrini, who is the Warriors' director of sports medicine and performance. He's the Warriors' chief athletic trainer. And his kid could very well be the number 1 overall pick to the San Jose Sharks. When you think about just how fathers and sons, I think about fathers and sons more than ever since I've had sons. How cool would that be for everyone involved? Like, congratulations, kid. You hit the one moment in time where the Sharks were bad enough to get the number 1 overall pick and maybe bring you home to be the savior of a franchise that you grew up rooting for. That's pretty cool. He's a 17-year-old at BU right now, not BYU. Actually, BU and BYU, very different, just from a religious standpoint. BYU is obviously Mormon University, and the big joke about BU is it's called BJU because there's an awful lot of Jewish students at Boston University. Boston College is more of the Catholic university in Boston. But look, if you're a really good hockey player at BU, you can officially play. You win the Hobey Baker, you can officially play. Macklin Celebrini has the chance to become the first ever Hobey Baker Award winner who is taken number 1 overall in the following draft. He's 17. He has the choice to maybe go back to BU and play another year or get to the NHL. And I would just say, once you've won a Hobey Baker Award and you are preordained to be the number 1 overall pick, what else are you going back to college for? Unless you really love college, in which case you only get very few bites at that apple. And if that means more to you than turning it into a pro, then by all means, young man, stay in college. But his dad's a pro in terms of, being a guy who's around professional athletics. And I think that when you come from a pro athlete family, becoming a pro athlete in your own mind sounds like a pretty cool thing to do. So you see the spoils directly up close in front of you every day. So we'll see what happens there. What else do I have before we officially get into today's Club Pluce? Thought this was funny. There is a McDonald's in Forest Hill, Illinois, that has been playing fish music all day. Apparently somebody in the neighborhood figured out how to hack either their sound system or, their drive-through window, but they're playing fish all day at this one Forest, Illinois McDonald's, which would be the only reason why you should go to McDonald's for lunch. How about this in terms of restaurants and lunch options? You Coke or Pepsi? You a Coke or Pepsi person? Me, I'm decidedly Coke. Always have been. Pepsi, it's good. A little too sweet. I like where Coke sits on the sweetness to soda scale. Works for me. I'm a Coca-Cola guy. I'm not a big soda guy. But I like a Coca-Cola. If I'm ordering soda, I'll order a Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was created by anyone who's got it without looking it up. Dr. John Pemberton. John Pemberton invented Coca-Cola. Look at the original ingredients. They were just putting cocaine in that. That was something else. The very first bottle of Coca-Cola was sold today, all the way back in 1886. If that's not a little factoid you can take to lunch with you, I really don't know what is. So there you go. I don't know if any other show out there in the Bay Area is covering the original sale of a bottle of Coca-Cola all the way back in 1886, but that's why you come back to the Pluce to find things like this out on slow news days, which we officially have. What can I tell you about the San Francisco Giants? I am much more concerned with how bad they looked against the best team in the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies, than I am impressed by how they looked against the worst team in the National League, which they had on the schedule yesterday, the Colorado Rockies, and are on the schedule again this evening. So good luck, San Francisco Giants. It feels like you need a lot of it right now. And there it is. There you go. That's the show. That's all the news that's fit to print in the time we have to print it. It's a gorgeous day in the Bay Area. I'm going outside. I could sit inside for another, an hour talking to you nice people, but that would trap me inside. It would trap you inside. And today is screaming, get outside. So I'm going to go do that as soon as I invite everyone to stick around for a little Club Pluce, which we're about to hop into. But if you are listening on the podcast, which is ever growing, I say thank you very much. Please be liked and subscribed to the YouTube page as well. But everyone listening on the podcast, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you so very much for tuning in. And please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Plug it in, go disco ball that squeaks. Oh, yeah. Otis Bird, yeah, the schedule could be a tough one this year. It's a real tough one. Joji saying Goodell hates the Niners. No, Goodell doesn't have his hand in any of this. And believe me, Roger Goodell likes profit, and the Niners are profitable, and he loves the Niners. Speaking of profitable, we're right back in the chat where Rob C. came from the top rope today with his hundo into the super chat. Again, I don't let any of you that prevent you from considering a super chat, maybe a membership as well today. Thank you, though, Rob. You are one of our primary benefactors that we've had here on the channel, and we thank you very, very much as always. Rob C. Note, again, C. Note, coming on in. Ian15 saying, hey, Chiefs Kingdom. I'm glad you're in the building, Chiefs Kingdom. Got great fans, great franchise, just a great team. And I'm going to tell you, as a kid, I like the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not going to earn me a lot of likes and clicks here in the Bay Area, as much as the Chiefs have been a thorn in the side of the 49ers in their Super Bowl appearances with Kyle. But I was a big Christian Okoye guy when I was a kid. Haberman, Rob C. Note, strikes again. He sure does. Again, thank God that Rob is here, because he absolutely makes up for the cheap nature of most of you. San Bruno, Mike, Damon. That's good sandwich knowledge. If you want to avoid a mess, you skip the tomato. Otherwise, have at it. Now, to me, a tomato at times can play a very important role in a sandwich. But if it's not playing a starring role in the sandwich, I don't really want that tomato on my sandwich, because I just think it makes the sandwich wet. Unless you run into that, like, oh my God, here we are, tomato season. I'm having like a religious, transcendent level experience with this tomato. I'm not really interested in the tomato. Like I got no love for Safeway tomatoes. You talking with like you give me heirloom tomatoes? All right. I will take an heirloom tomato out on a date on a Saturday night. I'll sport an heirloom tomato, but I'm not bringing like some tomato from Safeway out on a date. What else we got? Joe Schmo, tomato on the side. It depends on what kind of tomato is. Oh, how about this? A little friendly reminder from Red Jet. Red Jet wants everyone to know that there's 4 days until her birthday. I might have to bring a bottle of whiskey down here and toast you, Red Jet. You're such an important part of this community. And also, don't forget, it's Mother's Day. Freaking Mother's Day. God, I got to get that got to get that kid card in the mail to the Duchess tonight. I know what the boys are doing. Sam Bruno, Mike. C note on 18-1. Rob got paid. Rockin' New Air 84 says Dan Dibley is on the Mount Rushmore of Dans. What would that be? Let's see. We'd have my buddy Dan Dandaran, my buddy Dan Dibley, Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump, and Steely Dan. There you go. Those are all your Dans. That's your Dans on the Mount Rushmore right there. Robert Prado says Rob is the ultimate supporter. He's certainly committed more financial support to this program than any other living human being other than Ike, who is the chief sponsor of this program. There's no doubt about that. And my good friends at the Dubliner and Dr. Paul Hughes during football season. But yeah, no one throws hundreds around the club quite like Rob C-Note. Rockin' New Air 84. What are you going a little this generation rules the nation. Is it with version? Is that the next line there? I don't know, but pass the Dochi on the left-hand side. You know what I'm saying? Today's the perfect day to go out and pass the Dochi on the left-hand side. It's freaking gorgeous out there. Again, this is why it sucks that the Warriors are in it, because Red Jet, you're right, the NBA playoffs are awesome. I love highly competitive basketball, and it feels like we don't even get highly competitive basketball in the NBA during the 82 games of the regular season. You got to wait for it to be in the postseason. So you don't even really get to watch your team play unless they reach the postseason, which sucks that the Warriors didn't make it. Nathaniel Richards down with Macklin Celebrini, which, by the way, kid, great name. I mean, seriously, great name, Macklin Celebrini. That's fantastic. True Blue forever. I remember hockey. Yeah, hockey used to be a sport played in San Jose, but it hasn't been for years now. There we go. Member berries, you know. And Jonas,
Done scoring.
he certainly serves them.
Done scoring.
Sam Bruno, Mike, he knows. Donskoy. Scar. Donskoy. Scar. Habes. Hell yeah. Otis is saying even 95.7 is talking hockey with the Sharks news. Look, I mean, how often does any team in your area legitimately have the number one overall pick, right? That's a big deal. And we're going to get it with what? The WNBA team that the Warriors are going to be announcing the official name of soon enough. We'll see what they actually choose as their name. I had a pretty decent insider tip me to the name. I think they might go Valkyries. We'll see. I don't have a problem with that either, by the way. but we'll see when the official announcement gets made. Damon, as quoted so elegantly by Ralph Barbieri, go Sharks. Come on. Go Sharks. Yeah, and by the way, how the hell is anybody on 95.7 The Game talking hockey? I don't know if anybody at 95.7 The Game's ever been to a hockey game now that me and Ratto are off the station. Forget it. Where's Ray when you need him? Look at Joji's excited in Japan. Let him know. Club Pluce is open, Joji. Here we go. Let everyone in Japan know this is the place to be. Damon, fish fans are all dirty vegan hippies. Again, you would think, but no. Dirty, yes. Hippies, sure. Vegan, no. Come on. Don't hold that against the fandom. Red Jet on Team Coke. Irwin, who is very, Irwin and I, very similar beverage thoughts. He's on Team Coke. Anybody here make Team Pepsi? Sporticus, Team Coke. Habes, Coke. Otis, Coke. J.J. Raider, man who makes the ganja jar spicy. He's a Pepsi man, J.J. Raider. True Blue Forever? Yep. RC Cola. Dude, I was growing up in upstate New York. RC Cola was a big deal. And Adirondack Cola. I don't think you ever got Adirondack Cola making it all the way out here to the West Coast. But growing up, my supermarket of choice in upstate New York was Price Chopper. Price Chopper is the New York's Safeway. And Adirondack Cola undercut the competition outside the Price Chopper. You could buy a Coke or a Pepsi for like 75 cents, or a quarter would get you a can of Adirondack soda. The Adirondack Cola, The Adirondack version of Sprite, very good. The Adirondack Black Cherry Soda is still the greatest soda maybe of all time. Now, I'm attaching a lot of flavor memories to that, but Black Cherry Adirondack Cola, if you ever get it, if you ever see it, remember Uncle Damon sent you. Everyone's worst nightmare, who is all over Wake Up Today. Thank you for double dipping with us, everyone's worst nightmare. Coke, it's the original. What do we got here? Pepsi. The wife is Coke. Okay. All right, so house divided. Rockin' New Air 84, you absolutely got this one right. Mexican Coke is so far and away the superior of all Coca-Cola products now because it's made with real cane sugar. Real cane sugar. And that matters. Red Jet saying Pepsi was my grandma's go-to drink. My grandma's go-to drink was Senka. A lot of Senka. Oh, little shout out Crown Royal. Royal Crown Cola. Yeah, that was RC Cola. Royal Crown Cola. Oh, come on. Now you're totally speaking my language, everyone's worst nightmare. I love a good, high-quality root beer. Go to the Toronado on Lower Haight Street. If you're in the Bay Area, if you're in San Francisco, go to the Toronado, which is a great tap room. Great beers at Toronado. One of the best beers at Toronado, when they have it on tap, is their root beer. Non-alcoholic root beer. It's got a lot of sarsaparilla property to it. It's delicious. Spicy root beer notes. I love it. There was this place in Fort Wayne, Indiana, that was a side of the road like stand. It was a guy in a, what do you call those, slipstream trailers, looked like big chrome bullets. And he would sell homemade root beer that was so good. You're like, dude, it's a good thing that you're a little root beer guy just here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, because you could take out like A&W. You could take out the Schweppes people. That's how good that root beer was. But the root beer, whatever they have, I don't even know what the brand is, but the root beer at the Toronado, when they're pouring root beer at the Toronado, start your beer flights with a root beer at the Toronado. You'll be happy that you did. Again, we just yesterday were talking about one of my other favorite bars on Haight Street. Hobson's Choice is going to be closing soon. Don't you dare let the Toronado close down. Again, go out, support your local Bay Area bars and restaurants. Get yourself to the Halfway Club. My boy GQ's spot on Geneva, baby. Love that place. Yeah, if you just came into the chat, you're thinking you got a lot of cokeheads, right? No, Coca-Cola. That's what we're talking about. Rockin' New Era. Remember, Anna Kagaragi's. Again, what rhymes with Kagaragi's? Nothing. But Colorado Rockies is about as close as you can get. See, Prado knows. Mexican Coke comes with the real cane sugar. It's a great call. Hell yeah. Damon, you think you're going to take a JJ ganja break out in the yard? I mean, there's just no doubt. It's gorgeous. It's a glorious day out there. Of course I'm going to go out in the backyard, put one in the air before I go to lunch. What am I, an animal? Let's go squeaky disco ball. There it is. Disco ball squeaking for you. I hope you're enjoying it. Again, everyone's worst nightmare. I was a Priest Holmes guy too. Christian Okoye. I remember Mike Cloud, Barry Word. I mean, there was an army of pretty decent running backs in Kansas City for a while there. Michael says, Damon, love your new format. Former East Bay, living in Henderson. Well, thank you, Michael. It's great to be here. And look, if I were still on the radio, you wouldn't get me in Henderson. But I'm glad that you can find me. Again, we got Joe G watching in Japan. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Again, we're back to the tomatoes. Oh, the tomatoes, when you got a little salt and pepper on it, put a little burrata on that, a little balsamic vinegar. Now all of a sudden you got a little caprese salad. Look at me with the caprese salad. That's either the caprese salad is either the biggest plate of wet, tasteless mush ever, or everything is in season. Get that little bit of basil on there, and it is just flavor explosion. Where's Chef A? Chef A knows all about this. Chef A knows all about you got your seasonal dishes that are just undefeated, and then there's everything else. I do like a little crunch. Yes, I do. Yeah, Sporticus. Lettuce, thick or thin on a sandwich. I go a little thicker. Give me the crunch. Here's the thing. I don't like your like butter leaf lettuce. I want you give me iceberg lettuce on my sandwich if there's lettuce on the sandwich. You're right about this, True Blue. You can't have a BLT without the tomato. And I would suggest that the best BLTs, the tomato is the driver of the sandwich. Again, this is reserved for the very best of heirloom tomatoes. You'd think it's the bacon, but bacon works everywhere. What really makes great bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwiches it's the tomato and then the right amount of mayonnaise. And by the way, I don't want to hear any bullshit like, I don't put mayonnaise on if you're not putting mayonnaise on your BLTs, what are you doing? What are you doing? Caprese salad. That's what I'm talking about. Sliced tomato with salt and pepper. It's simple. It's elegant. It works. It does, Sporticus. Oh, wait a minute. How did I leave Smiley Dan off of my freaking Dan Mount Rushmore? There you go. Smiley Dan, we will replace Mystic Dan. Did Mystic Dan, who did we have on there? Dan Duran, my boy. Smiley Dan's my boy. Dan Dibley's my boy. And we need something to listen to, so Steely Dan stays. There's the new revised Mount Rushmore with Smiley Dan included. We all need to stay safe after all, right? Damon, Dan Fouts. Didn't make it. Sorry. Didn't make it. We got here. The 49ers schedule was more brutal than Damon Bruce's ex-wife. JT, I got an ex-wife? I've yet to meet her. How did it go wrong? I'm sorry it didn't work out, honey. Whoever you are, wherever you could be. Otis is right. We got sundress conditions out there. Hashtag SDC. Habes knows what we're talking about. I remember when someone was like, oh, Damon, how can you be talking about sundresses? Doesn't that make you some bad guy? I'm like, what? It's a crime to be heterosexual? Not in my book. Ooh, look at this. Mike Baker. Something for the jar. Mike, thank you very, very much. Appreciate that. Again, we had a Rob C-note just dominating the front row of the stripper stage up there with all the money he was throwing around. Thank you very much to you as well, Mike Baker, for being a part of this. What do we got? Orangish, pinkish jerseys for the WNBA team? We'll see how they look. This is, Greg Doyle punished for the Caitlin Clark comments. He's not allowed at the Fever's games. They yanked his credential in Caitlin Clark's inaugural season. That feels a little harsh, honestly. I think that Greg Doyle spent enough time in the blender of public outrage to where that would have been it. I'm surprised that they suspended him. I really am. There you go, Chef A. Our culinary palate. Chef A is declaring Coke the winner of any Coke Pepsi debates. Thank you very much. What else we got? Oh, hey, San Bruno Mike. Boom. He's throwing it in the tip jar right there. Thank you very much, Sam Bruno. Just because I'm excited for the sundress conditions today, we got them. And I'm going to go enjoy them. And I really hope that you enjoy it too. Kyle says, I'm literally pouring a Mexican Coke into a styrofoam cup right now. They still have styrofoam cups in California? You haven't been arrested for that yet? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. My grandmother, says Sporticus, had diet chocolate soda. Ugh. Chocolate soda doesn't sound good. And then you put the word diet on that, really doesn't sound good. By the way, you're right about it. Airstream is the name of the guy in Fort Wayne selling root beer trailer. The Airstream. What else? Chat's flying today. Chat is absolutely flying today. Oh, JJ Rader with a little about his past. This old auto parts store that I would go to with my dad like 30 years ago had an old vending machine that had a root beer options. I remember the brand, but I'm still chasing that root beer flavor. I wish I could help you out. Cheers back at you, everyone's worst nightmare. And cheers to all of you. Michelle, love a good root beer. Pizza place called Red Dog Saloon in Virginia City that has some awesome root beer. Good pizza, too. Joji, Damon, have you finished watching Shogun? Yes, I have. Excellent. It was excellent. My only complaint is that there's a season 2 coming. I want it all wrapped up in 10 episodes. Like, I don't know if I can commit to season 2. Freaking kids, all I'm telling you is that the fact that we got through 10 episodes of anything in like under 2 weeks is a fucking miracle. So I wish it would have all wrapped up like the entire thing. But I loved it. And I guess I'm not upset that we're going to have more of it coming. It's just going to be hard for me to keep on watching. I think we got, so you can really hear the discos, the squeaky disco ball. That's good. Creates the ambiance of the club. I didn't even know this was available. Big Too Sweet 77 Black Cherry Shasta? I didn't know Shasta ever did a black cherry. I am down with the black cherry. By the way, Kyle's down with Idaho. Good to have you here, Kyle. Thank you for watching from Idaho. Just moved out to Idaho. I hope it's going well for you. Big sky country. Oh, and that's why you're getting away with Idaho. Everything is styrofoam in Idaho. You would think a place that is literally offering nature more than anything would be the first place to be like, let's get rid of this styrofoam. But no. And there we go. We are double confirmed here. Double confirmed. SF Indigo says Black Cherry Shasta. It happened. And we got a seconder, Michelle, saying, oh my goodness, I forgot about Cherry Shasta. There you go. Hey, listen to Shasta on 107.7 The Bone. I love her. She's fantastic. Good friend, too. And there you go. This was, here you go. Here's a little old school. You ready? Egg cream. Sporticus showing his East Coast nature. Egg cream. It's a very thick drink that I've never been an egg cream guy. They're out there. Bargs. Bargs is a good root beer. It absolutely is. And Diet Bargs root beer might have been the best diet of all diet root beers. Diet Bargs was very good. But yeah, Bargs, A&W, Schweppes. Outside of that, there's not a lot of entrance into the root beer game. Joe Schmo. Bargs has got bite. See? That's what I'm talking about. And just because it's a good drink on a good drinking day, whiskey sour, really good. Let me tell you what my go-to, this is a final bit of information I'm leaving you with today. My go-to, it is a gorgeous freaking day outside, outdoor cocktail, Pim's Cup. Go get yourself a Pim's Cup and do it somewhere where you're sitting on an outdoor patio today. Thanks very, very much for tuning in. It was awesome hanging out with you as always, which it just breaks my heart to let you know that you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here. Pim's Cup.